G'day, listeners. Welcome to Barkarati, the sailing podcast. It's that time of the week where I get to hang out with some really cool sailors and my two idiot mates. First up, joining me is Mr. Brett Perry.
Greetings, exalted one.
The term test rig, we went through it the other day. Test rig is one that on a boat is destined to destroy things. Yep. I've decided there is now a test rig in a fleet.
Oh, okay. A fleet test rig.
Well, we've just seen another incident in the start of the race, and I think we're going to have to start extending the test rig to fleets, so people on boats. So
yeah, I know
we know who we're talking about with that one, don't we?
Yeah, I do. Let's bring in the other guy. And
unbelievable, eh?
Yeah, unbelievable. Let's give him a chance to answer that.
He had a voice that could make a wolverine purr.
Mr. Nick Bice.
Thought you were going to be a self-appointed test rig for a minute there, BP.
What was that?
But I caught onto it.
Yeah.
There's one boat which is causing a few issues amongst the fleet.
I like it.
Not only with the one fleet.
With any fleet.
Several fleets. Fishing fleets, sailing fleets, other fleets.
Just fleets. So anyway, you get my point, right?
Yeah, I'm hearing you, for sure.
Lads,
Yep.
What is going on? I've turned up on the Sunshine Coast for the Etchells, expecting to see you two blokes here so we could do a live record, and you're not here.
COVID.
I'm in Etchell's jail.
Etchells jail.
Cheats.
Etchell's jail. I'm holding the bars. I'm dressed in my black and white striped suit. Got my little hat on.
Well, the good thing
One
is
meal a day.
They're still going ahead. The Etchell Nationals and Asia Pacifics are happening at Mooloolaba. Literally at my yacht club, so happy days. They're all turning up, they're all rigging their boats, having a grand old time, but of course no Victorian boats can be here because they've been locked down for a little while. And then of course there's all the stuff going on. So apparently talking to the organisers last night, it's been renamed to the Division 3 Cruising Nationals.
The Cruising Nats. And if you cook a roast halfway around, you get extra points.
That's it.
How many boats?
39, I think. 39, so not too bad.
It's all right.
39.
Good luck
And how
to
many boats are in jail?
All of it.
them. 25.
Okay. So
There probably would have been. There's probably
Could have
another
been
10.
60 boats.
Yeah, another 10 or 15
Yeah,
up
yeah,
there. But hey, from the team at Great White Hunter, good luck to everyone up there.
Yep.
I know we all want to be up there, but get out there and have fun. And Gardo and Snowdy, enjoy yourselves.
Well, the best thing is this podcast comes out after they've finished. So I hope you had a great time. And fuck, those results are fantastic. I can't believe it rolled that way.
We're recording very early in the week before the Etchells even started. So one of the things that I've learnt from talking to some of the Etchell boys is they don't know how to use an app. And to listen to the show. So they're going, I can't listen to your old episodes. And I'm going, well, just go to the app and then go down and look through the menu. But, so if you're listening and you want to find back episodes, you can go to our website and go down through those at barkarati.com. Or you can put on your phone, and it's probably on an Apple phone, a little podcast app. Just Google podcast in your and then load that app and then search for Barkarati, and every episode will be sitting there. I had to explain that a few times last night. It was quite
Maybe
fun.
you could, we should actually, on the QR code of the Barkarati cans, I'll change it so it takes you to a instruction page on the website.
It's not a bad idea.
Because there'll be a few cans getting splayed about, right?
Yep. They're
At
all
the yacht
loaded
club.
up. Yep. Chock-a-block full of Sailor's Lager. They're going to have a good time.
Oh, good on you. Well done.
They're not the most friendly blokes, though, because they did propose that instead of saying joining my two idiot mates, I should use the intro joined by my one idiot mate and my one normal mate and leave it for you two to debate which one's which.
All right, go. Well, I sail
I'm
an
an
Etchell
idiot.
with the number 936, so put that to your mates.
All right.
All good.
All good. Hey, boys.
Yeah.
Barkarati, we're here to help international sailors in their time of need. We've been...
That's what we do.
That's
how
what we
roll.
do. We're here, and there's so many international sailors getting locked down and in quarantine, And when we find out, we go, well, you know what, that'd be a good time to have a chat to them. So we've done it again. We've found another sailor locked down in quarantine, struggling to be anything but bored. So we've reached out and said, come and chat to us. And he said, can't wait. So
A bit of therapy.
Bit of therapy for the young fella. So, and we wanted to, I wanted to do this one just because we haven't done a Norwegian sailor yet. And I've been hanging out to chat to them. There's some great sailors come out of Norway, lots of friendly people. And also wanted to pull in a Finn sailor, talk a bit about Finns. And I thought, well, I know Anders Pedersen is, he goes all right on a Finn. He's going to his second Olympics. He's won the Silver Cup, which is the Youth World Championships in the Finn, and he's sitting in his lounge room, just got nothing else to do. So welcome to the show, Anders.
Oh, hi. Thank you.
It's great to have you, mate.
Yeah, thanks. Great to be here.
Yeah.
It's nice to have some time to spend while I'm quarantining.
What was Anders, 2 weeks ago, did you know you were heading into quarantine only a month or so from the games? Or was it kind of a bit all up in the air, everything's changing, all the balls are bouncing, not sure what's next?
Everything is changing all the time, so I guess you just have to plan as we go. So it's a day-to-day almost planning this year.
Yeah, we've had a lot of chats to a lot of guys and girls going to the Olympics, and it's been a very tough sort of preparation. Obviously missing last year, but continuing the focus. And with the quarantining, it must be a really weird setup.
Yeah, it's a strange, but I guess you just have to go with the flow and don't think too much about it. So yeah, we're used to travel a lot and be on the road all the time, so it makes it a bit easier.
But before we crack into how it all started for you, what's the next month entail prior to where they are going to be downing the postponement flag in Enoshima, ready to go?
I think it's going to happen. We're so close now, and it looks pretty good. Everybody getting vaccinated and all that stuff. So I think we're good to go. So,
Anders, can I ask you, do you have a partner?
A girlfriend.
As in girlfriend or
a girlfriend?
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
well, don't tell her this then, and don't tell her how to open an app to listen to this. But I heard that the organisers are giving 14 condoms to every single athlete going to the games in your little gift pack.
In your merchandise.
Yeah. It's normally a lot of condoms around. Yeah, that's true. So that's not a problem.
Well, COVID, nah. Condoms, yeah. No worries.
I know a lot of the guys going to their first Olympics is a bit disappointed that they're with all the COVID restrictions and all that. So we'll see how life is on the inside. It's not fully decided yet, I guess.
Well, so this is your second, right? You can say, well, it's never normally like this. We used to have way much more fun.
Yeah, haven't seen it like this before. What a cool thing, to rock up in Olympics and say, I haven't seen it like this before.
I gotta ask, mate, just on the Olympic thing. In Australia, when we have the Olympics, right, there's a lot of pressure on our swim team, right? Because that's where we expect our swim team to do well, and everything else, and our sailing team. Actually, our sailing team's got a lot of pressure. Everything else is, we're not so good at everything else, so we don't worry about it. But like when it comes to the Winter Olympics, there's no pressure at all on any of the athletes. We go, off you go and have a nice time. It's good. No one's expecting an Australian athlete to even get a mention. And I wonder, where you're Norwegian, I know that the Winter Olympics is where your country's a superstar country. Is it like the opposite? Like in your Summer Olympics team, is it, off you go, have a nice time, or there's a lot of pressure?
We got actually the Olympics is the only time we get some pressure. Norway is quite good, I don't know, but the Winter Olympics get a lot of attention all the time in World Cups and World Championships and all sorts of competitions. But for sailing and rowing and all these summer sports, which is not so big, they're actually quite big during the Olympics. So the Olympics is our time to shine.
Yeah.
once every fourth year.
It's the exact opposite of here, like no one, we won't even see a winter sport here.
Oh, well, hang on. We got
You
Stephen
took a
Bradbury.
gold in some
Stephen Bradbury.
ice skating.
Yeah.
I was
Some
going
years
to
ago,
say,
right?
Possibly one of the greatest sporting moments in Australia's history.
actually, let's call greatest moment in world sporting history.
Mate,
It's been debated
Just
on
a
the show
classic
before.
example that it's better to be lucky than good every time.
That's the Aussie way. I mean,
Story of your life, Jordan.
I was waiting.
if you look up Australian in the dictionary, there's a picture of Steve Bradbury. You know that, don't you? As he's jumping over the guy at the end and just going, yeah.
I reckon. Do they have snowball fights at the Winter Olympics? I wonder. We'd probably go all right in that, wouldn't we?
Yeah, well, the opposite to your team would, because they got a big bloody target to aim at your head.
All right. Enough banter, mate. We're pretty interested. So this is your second Olympics.
Yeah, correct.
Yep. You've been working quite hard. I've been looking at your Facebook a bit and watching what you're doing. You're fairly focused. From the perspective of your start in the sport, how did you start? What was your family sailors, or was it just?
Yeah, my dad was a lazy sailor and done a lot of big boat stuff. So he bought me my first Optimist when I was 6, I think. So he tried to push me out on the water quite early.
Right.
So I spent a couple of years being a bit afraid and only started racing when I was about 8, 9, 10, properly in my club. So, but had a good time growing up at the water.
Is it a bit of the typical Norwegian style? Had the what do you call it? Not a shack, like the summer house on the water somewhere, or you grew up always close to the water?
No, I actually grew up by the water. I live when you look on the map, you see the most narrow point in the Oslo fjord. That's where I grew up. So my house, my childhood house, is only 50 meters from the water. So easy access while growing up.
When I look through the boats you've sailed, you sailed the Opti, you sailed the Europe, you sailed the Lazy, you sailed the Finn. Do you have trouble making
Got
friends?
any mates?
Was that with an Olympic goal in mind, or is it just the way the class of boats that you sail up there?
No, it was kind of the classic way to go from Optimist to the Europe dinghy. And then it was eventually Laser, and I met this other Norwegian sailor while sailing one of my first camps in the Laser, Christian Root. He done 2-3 Olympics in the Laser, and he just done his first one in Beijing, and he had this speech on this national training camp, and I figured out this Olympic circus might be something for me, so it was something worth giving a shot.
So how old were you when that speech happened?
Oh, back in 2008. So I was 15, 16.
Right.
That's a size thing. So you would have known pretty quickly that Laser was well out of your reach.
Yeah, from early on, from the Opti time, I was head higher than the rest of the bunch. So I kind of switched quite early to the Europe and then the Laser. And then a couple of years after that meeting with Christian, I decided that it was better for me to get up to 100 than
to go down to
torching myself to be at 80, 85. So that was an easy decision.
So what's your measurements? How tall are you, mate?
I'm 189, and now I'm 100 kilos.
Oh,
yeah, that's all right.
We're twins.
Yeah, might have a punch up with our mate Jordan.
So, normal size.
Normal size.
Exactly.
This is normally where I intervene and mention that Jordan's got a 5'10" man's body, but a 7'2" man's head. So that's what takes him to 6'2". But I wouldn't say it on this particular episode.
No, not like you just did.
Oh, shit.
That's a good thing for single-hand dinghy then, if you can get the head out of the boat and hike it properly.
Yep. Absolutely.
We're all over it.
Do you reckon you're the right, do you want to be taller in the Finn, do you reckon, or you're pretty much spot on?
To be honest, I think I could be as tall as possible. You see some of the best guys, Giles Scott, Sambu Berich, Jake. They're pretty tall and pretty skinny, and I think that's, of course, it's favorable because you can be a bit lighter.
Yeah,
those guys can be around 95 kilos and they can still hike as strong.
Yep.
While us short people in the Finn class, we need to have a bit of extra kilos to get the boat go as fast.
Is there times where you notice a difference? Like, is there times when it actually pays off to be your size compared to those guys, or is it's just pure leverage?
Yeah, I haven't seen much of that. I think it's better to be tall and skinny.
Yeah. Well, I know
a little less consumption of beer would be in that particular area, though. So it's all a bit of a where you want to sit. Yeah, if you're constantly wanting to, I guess,
in the
just
bar,
a little
it's
bit
probably good to be my size. Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah,
I know Jean-Bourg quite well through my Hungarian connections with some sailing through Hungary, and when he stepped up from lasers into Finn, it was a really interesting move for him. But he bulked up quick, and it showed that the tall person was the way forward. So he had a great year. Last year or year before? Sorry, year before.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say though, Ainsley's not that tall.
Do you think things have changed though?
Oh, maybe.
I think the level has hit the roof after 2012.
Which I really want to touch base on that later through the conversation. Right. But anyway, let's keep rolling through the Anders story.
All right. Okay. So, with your family, with the sailing background there, it was just you and Dad hanging out when it came to the sailing bit.
No, the first years I was hanging out with him and learning where the wind come from and how to find close hole and all that, and then we just had a really great community at my home club. We were almost between 40 and 50 boats every Tuesday racing, so that was just great. So people carrying wooden boats to a Tuesday race, and it was not was a bit easier times. You didn't have to have the perfect gear and the perfect equipment to go racing. Yeah, it was a bit lower bar to just go out sailing.
So were there any other sports that you thought about instead, or was it always sailing for you?
Oh, I tried it all. I've been cross-country skiing, downhill skiing, a bit of golfing. Been through as pretty much any kid tried it all. Was
it the Lycra that was a problem with the downhill skiing?
No, the downhill ski. I was actually doing downhill skiing until I was 14, 15 in the winter. Then I had to make a choice, which one I would go, and sailing is much more fun. So
you were to see an idiot move. Watch me skiing, Power. No good.
Oh God, I could go into some funny stories.
Loose ass.
I could go into a
also, I guess when you guys have started making a TV show instead of a podcast, we have to bring you guys to Norway to go skiing.
Oh my God!
I'm not going to go too far away. I'm not going to go into depth here, but I actually did a season at Mount Buller as a ski lift operator, having never seen the snow in my life. Rock up there, and my first morning was, and BP, you're up at the summit. Never put a set of skis on in my life. So there you go. I had to ski my way up to the top. My God. Jeez, anyway, that's another story.
It must be for us. It's sort of surreal, you guys just growing up and playing in the snow all the time. Like most of us haven't seen it, it's just surreal for us. It's summer for you now. So what's a normal summer day in Norway? How hot does it get there?
Now it's been a solid 10 days of 20, 25 degrees every day and nice sun. So that's perfect summer conditions here in Norway.
Yeah, so that's winter for me.
We go in July, it's going to be a bit hotter. Then it's going to be between 25 and 30, I guess. Some weeks, and that's hot to be in Norway.
And what does it get down to in the winter? What's the cold snaps?
Down south where I live, you can have minus 15.
Oh,
Lovely.
But up in the mountain, you can easily have minus 20, 25, 30 degrees. So it can be pretty cold.
The listeners aren't seeing the video, but see Bicey there. He's got all his gear on.
Yeah.
You know, it's probably 18 degrees.
No, it's actually pretty chilly in Adelaide today.
So how do you train through winter in that situation? Like, do you sail at all, or you can't because everything's frozen?
When you're youth, we sail. We had a YouTube video uploaded when I was doing the laser when we launched on the snow. So we had this big hill when we pushed the boats off and slayed it down in the water. That was quite cool.
Yeah.
But,
I'm sure
when you're done at high school, we pretty much go out sailing, go down south pretty fast. Yeah.
Wow.
Where have your training camps been? During the winter.
We've been staying in Lanzarote in the Canary Islands this winter, which has been really, really good.
Mm.
So we had some awesome waves and wind condition down there. So that was pretty sweet.
How do you go with the heat? Do you find the heat? Does that get affected?
Normally I'm quite good, but Tokyo is going to be hot.
Yeah,
that's going to be
I think that's
going to be awful.
Yeah, I think that's why BP's asking to see if it's going to affect you.
Yeah, the humidity is something that people don't or underestimate. Both hot and cold, humidity can be a real factor. Yeah.
Yeah. Now Tokyo is going to be really, really warm. So we were in Melbourne last summer for you guys. Mm-hmm. And that was nothing compared to Tokyo. That was
Melbourne summer. You know.
Yeah, we had one day with sandstorm coming in with some pretty high temperatures. So then, but that was still
I remember
not as hot as Tokyo.
The northerlies, yeah.
So with the dinghies, before you got into the fins, like when you're in the lasers and the Europes, did you do some major competitions with that stuff? Or obviously you were in a bit of a training program, otherwise you wouldn't have heard that speech. So did you?
Yeah, I did. I was quite fast on the youth national team and did a lot of youth worlds and European championship and regattas pretty much everywhere. So yeah.
Have you found a favourite place to go sailing when you like? Obviously, Lanzarote would be pretty up there, but have you got a favourite place?
I loved. I did before I went back to Melbourne training last year. I did the 5.5 World Championship in Sydney.
Oh, yeah.
Out of
Pittwater.
Yeah, out of Pittwater.
Yeah,
and I have to say that except for the long tow, that was a pretty nice place.
It's
out through Scotland Island and out through Pittwater there, and Lion Island. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah,
yeah. So that was an amazing place.
You guys raced off the heads out there most of the time, didn't you?
Yeah, correct.
Long tow though, you're right.
Long tow.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you got into sailing as a youngster, were there any sailors that sort of inspired you?
Yeah, we had some Norwegian heroes back in the time. We had my old coach Per Mober, who took the bronze in Atlanta in the laser, and his training partner Ivan Melleby. They were quite the heroes when I grew up, and of course you heard about Ben Ainsley and Robert Scheidt and all those guys, which were big shots in the sport. So yeah.
Did you ever get the opportunity to sail against Sir Ben?
Yeah, I did 3 races against him. I did the Perth World Championship in 2011, and I think Euro or World Cup was then in Palma, and the World Championship in Falmouth. But
did you touch him up a little bit, or
no? This was my first ever racing in the Finn, so I was struggling.
Was it the Perth regatta when he jumped out the boat and punched the cameraman?
I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
I don't think he punched him. That's at least the official statement, but yeah, that's correct.
So that's basically he's your hero. You go to the first regatta with him, and you see him punch someone.
That was quite funny, actually. I remember that.
Set him up a bit yourself?
No, I remember that last day. I heard something happen on the water, and I got in, and we packed everything up, and we went to the party the last day, and I was in the line to get into the bar, and I turned around to see if one of my friends were there, and I I turned straight into to Ben Ainsley, and I was like, whoa, surprised! There was the hero right there, and I asked him, aren't you racing tomorrow? And he just answered quietly that never argue with the media guy. That's then we went in and had a beer.
That's cool.
Cool.
What about probably I'm trying to think of the Norwegian sailor that's had in the Finn was old time was Harold Eriksson. Do you know that name?
Oh man, you can't ask me this history. I have no idea.
Okay. I think he got a silver in the Finn back in '57 or something.
Oh, from memory, just from memory, AJ.
Just pulled this one out of my C4 cervicular spinal cord memory vein. Yeah, good one.
No, he hasn't been part of it. What about in terms of? There was like Lars. I don't even know how to pronounce. Apologies if we get names wrong. You can tell us how to say it properly. But a Brodkorp, Lars Brodkorp.
Yeah.
He was sort of around your ear. He's been. Is he still sailing against you or?
No, he stopped sailing the Finn. I think he still races some Europe dinghy competitions.
Oh, okay.
And some OK dinghy regattas. I think he's been at.
Okay.
But I haven't heard from him in a long time actually. So I think he's most of the time playing chess actually.
Okay.
Playing
Cool.
chess.
Of you too. So then, who's your training partner? Like, have you got competition, serious competition in Norway, or a training partner, or you're on your own?
No, I'm quite alone up here in Norway, racing at my level. But they're starting to be some masters. So I race with them when I'm home and when I can. So I try to be a bit of a coach and pass on some tips and so it's starting to be about 20 boats now in Norway, so that's gone from 0 from 4 years ago, so that's good.
Yeah, right. And how's the through the Olympic path, like the support with your national body, going back to almost that comment that Jordan made about the Summer Olympics? Is there enough support there to do what you need to do?
No, we do it at a minimum. Without my personal sponsors, it would not be possible at all. It's I get a coach and I get some support to travel, but far from enough. I could easily have done it with 2 or 3 or 4 times more the support that we get. Yeah. So
that's who are your sponsors?
Let him
give him a plug.
I got 2 firms. It's Sport and Drabak. It's a local sporting goods store, and a firm called Idea, which makes how do you call it in English? Like corporal branding stuff.
Okay. Yep.
Everything from pens to whatever you desire. Yeah.
For making merchandise,
some swabs from the.
Well, Bossy, maybe we could get them to do our merchandise packs.
Some branded swabs from the local hospital.
Yeah.
I wonder if we I'm wondering if we went into your local sports store. I wonder if there's stuff in there that we wouldn't even have a clue what it is. There
would be so many stuffs there you wouldn't have a clue what it is.
Is that right?
What's that little net thing that goes in your hand? What? What's that broom? Oh, yeah, curling. Okay.
I'd be interested to go online and just see what we could find. So what was the name of it again?
Sport and Drabak. It's a family business, actually. Oh. So that's... I'm
going to go online and see what I can find. That'd be good. It's good that they're getting behind you, mate. So it's good that you get the opportunity. Is it something that when it happened, it was like relief, or it was like, I deserve to be here sort of thought process when you got picked to go to the Olympics?
No, it's a relief. It's nobody can expect to go to the Olympics. It's few spots and very hard competition to go there. So you just have to be thankful and happy with and satisfied with the job you've done. So you can never expect that to happen. That's it's so many still now, especially from Europe. It's 5 or 6 good countries which is not qualified and is not going. So that's it's a tough one.
Yeah. What about the rest of the team in Norway? So, what's your chances of medals with your team? Like, do you have that sort of analysis done, or who's the
now
superstars?
Have the strongest team probably in the last 4 or 5 Olympics going into Tokyo with an FX team who's done very good the last quad. Laser. It's not called Laser anymore. Ilka something.
Yeah.
Cool.
Ilka One Design.
Ilka One Design. Yeah, Laser Men. We have Herman, which is has done really good and shows that he's capable of a medal. He even medaled in the test event in Tokyo. And we have for the girls, we have Lina, which is bronze medal in the Worlds in Melbourne.
For the listeners, I'll interrupt. For the listeners, Lina is spelled Line.
Lucky you're not pronouncing that one, Jordan.
Yeah, I know. I would have destroyed that. So go on. Keep going, my friend.
Yeah, and then we have a Finn, of course, which is going to give it everything in the games. So now we're going to have a quite strong team. Yeah.
All right. Cool. Before I actually want to ask a couple of fun things. So we've been talking about nicknames a lot. Have you got a nickname?
Yeah, would not like to mention it here.
Okay.
Damn it.
Okay, so we've got to try and get it out of him between
while
now
we're
and the end
on
of the show.
Let's message Jake straight away.
Yeah, actually, I'll just give him a quick message.
What about superstitions, mate? And has you got any superstitions while my friends are finding out your nickname?
Believe me, I'm onto it, Jake.
Oh, not really. I'm not really.
Aspirations to sail big boats, offshore keel boats.
Yeah,
got quite a
with,
reputation. The Norwegians.
It's not so much big boat stuff going on in Norway. I've done some racing with a couple of semi-professional teams who race up here. And
well, I wasn't actually really talking about in the current, like in probably the last 200 years. You've had some success in big boats, going around to countries, ransacking and doing things.
200?
Oh, yeah.
2,000?
Ignore them. Idiots, mate.
No, have you tried your hand much at it in the competitive sense?
Yeah, I've only done like the longest race I've done is a 3 days race, and but I would love to do more of it. I think it's a great way of sailing and a great way to compete. So it's really test you in many aspects, not just how good you are around the course.
Yeah. Well, the Finn, obviously the Finn boys are in high demand when they come out of the Finn class into all the other boats. I just saw Maloney and Josh on the SailGP New Zealand boat. So there's plenty of spots, obviously there's a few Finn sailors in the SailGP fleet. Actually, before I go too far, because we'll go and talk about the Finn a little bit, but before we go too deep into that, what's your setup? So if there's Finn fans out there, because you guys are a passionate bunch, what boat do you have? What mast do you have? How do you set it up without giving any secrets away?
No, we sail pretty much everyone now racing the Devori Fantasticas ever since 2014, 15.
Yep.
There's two mast producers that everyone uses. It's Hitmast and Wilke from Switzerland. I personally use the Wilke, and so that's it's no big secrets going on that. Some countries are doing some home productions, but mostly on rudders and centerboards and some booms and stuff.
Yeah. And what are your numbers on your mast? Do we go into that detail?
Oh, if I told you that, I have to kill you.
Okay. That's what I was interested in.
So can you tell him? No, we understand.
Hey, that was a good one, BP. You got me.
Do you so after a regatta, say you've just come into a regatta and you've just either had an absolute shitter or an absolute blinder, is there any ever a bit of bar talk afterwards and people give their numbers away a little bit and you start seeing trends, or everything's kept completely close to your chest?
Oh, that's the big secrets of the fleets, man. And
Yeah.
that's very close to the chest. Yeah, that's what it's all about. That's everyone's secret.
But surely the different size and different shapes of people would make a difference to set up here.
Yeah, of course, and it's also your style, sailing style, and all that taken into consideration. But I guess it's pretty much similar for almost everyone.
Yeah,
I don't think it's many guys who have a extreme difference either other way.
I
was trying to sand the inside of the Etchell mast the other day. Give her a bit more flex, just to the side, just to the side, especially on port tack.
Oh yeah, right. Is that what it is? Okay.
There must be, like, obviously to get to your numbers, you must do a lot of experimentation, you know, especially at an Olympic level. That would be, I would imagine, a major part. Like for me, if I was in the Finn, I'd be experimenting with mast and my sail cuts all the time, and I'm guessing that chews up a lot of your time. Is that right with the Finn?
Oh yeah, that takes a lot of time. So we use much energy, time, and money to get those things right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I think that's maybe one of the reasons the Finn sailors are so much in demand also when they do come out of Finns, because they've gone through that process.
Understand data. Yeah.
Not only like big, strong guys, but also understand the different manipulation you need to make a boat go fast, which translates very well into, well, especially big boats for sure.
Well,
so
yeah, I think that's great. We use so much time on those processes, and first you have to understand it, but then you actually have to go out and test it and see if it's good or bad. So yeah, that's I think that's it's really good with the Finn in the way of getting you educated to go on and do other sailing. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, Anders, you're safe so far. Jake hasn't come back with a nickname, so we'll keep pressing. So stand by.
Perfect.
Just hope I don't sand those pot rivets off the inside of the Etchell rig. Give her a little tweak.
Oh, I can't wait to see your rig.
So with the Fantastica, when that all happened, because that was it wasn't that long ago that the Fantasticas popped out. Was it noticeable? Because it still measures. It's a, you know, it's
one design. It's one design. Is it one design?
So
it
what
looks
was
completely different. The boat is longer, both in the it's extended like
in the waterline
2 centimeters in the waterline in the front and in the back. So you see it quite well. Taking away the gun wall in the back and in the front, and
obvious
but
choice.
when you line them up, you can't really spot the difference before you came close to them on a classic and on a Fantastica, but it for sure is different sailing them. So yeah, everyone's choosing the Fantastica.
No, I just find it quite interesting that perspective, you know, and obviously everyone's sort of moved, as you said, to the Fantastica. The classics are sort of being sold quite cheaply at the moment. All the Masters fleet, I guess, for the old blokes who don't care too much about winning, I guess it's a gold mine for those guys. They can just jump in, and the Finn is good for that, isn't it? Like the Finn is really good.
Oh, it's perfect. It's a great master boat. Yeah, it's you sit a bit higher than the Laser, and you're a bit more comfortable. And if you want to be in pain, it's just to hike a bit harder and pump a bit on the downwind. So it's a great boat that way.
So designed in 1949 and in the 1952 Olympics, designed by the Swedish canoe designer Richard Sabi. There's a little bit of history for you. Thanks, Jay.
You got
from memory.
You pulled that one out of the.
What about the downwind pumping? Obviously, that evolution of the downwind pumping, because you've probably gone through that from the start. Talk about how that has evolved and what you think of it.
No, I think it's great. You've been able to surf the boat and rock the boat and pump the boat and really play with the conditions. And you also get the aspect of the physiques in. It's basically rowing we do, except we have to stand up every now and then. And I think it makes the it makes the boat perfect actually for Olympic kind of racing.
Well, here we go.
Makes it demanding and physically demanding, yeah. Which is why you're all super buffed.
Yeah, and it's the more effort you put in, the faster you go. It's pretty
which is a bit of a direct opposite to our 470 mates.
I knew that was coming. How do you feel about the 470 pumping upwind?
All the small boys.
Love it. I'm going to see Will on the weekend. I'm going to see Will Ryan on the weekend. G'day, small boy.
No, the 470 is
their style of pumping.
It's I'm surprised how fast it goes in the breeze. That's all I have to say about it.
No, the light air pumping upwind, where that's basically what did I say? Look at a bit of air rooting and dog rooting a cricket ball. Probably don't get that direct translation, but I think you'd imagine what. Well, you've seen it.
It looks like it's good training for the hip, so maybe they can transfer it to something else.
Maybe they need those extra 14 from the organisers of the Olympics.
Oh yeah. I was actually hoping when they kicked out the Finn now that they made it optional if you want to sail 1 or 2 in the 470. Then maybe I can do a campaign sailing by myself.
What a genius idea! You're a thinker. I love it.
Yeah.
That's a great idea, Anders. Why not? Just rock up with what you got. Yes.
Which kind of leads us into it's a bit of a segue, that being kicked out of the Olympics. Obviously, we've been talking about the Finn in the last few weeks. We love the Finn.
Few years.
Well, we have. Yeah, we love it. We love the Finn. How do you feel, or what do you feel is going to happen to the Finn?
You're going to lose all the young sailors for sure. Right. Probably the master fleet is going to be bigger, and that will continue and run its own path. But you lose all the top sailors and the big names in the sport, which the Finn has been the creator of. I think you're going to lose that, of course. All the America's Cup sailors and Volvo Ocean Race sailor and so on and so on. It's not going to be a producer of that kind of sailors anymore, and that's a shame because it's probably been for the last 20 years at least the biggest,
no doubt,
biggest class delivering that kind of sailors.
Do you think that people that are normal sized should be allowed to go to the Olympics in sailing?
Yeah, of course. I think that. I think it's a shame that they took away the only option now for guys over 85 kilos to race. For myself, I could probably lose if I'm desperate to do one more Olympics and try to do the laser. But
really?
There are guys on the circuit like.
Would you?
No. Of course I won't. Of course I won't. But when at least it's an option. And for guys like Giles and Zombie and Max Salmon and Jake and all the tall boys, they're pretty slim as it is. And for those guys to lose down to lasers, it's no way.
Can happen. Yeah.
Nah.
So I don't know. I'm of the opinion that okay. I understand your point about losing the younger sailor because of the Olympics, but I'm sort of feeling like that sailing's sort of going down a different route at the moment with broadcast, with television, with media, and all things. I think it's an opportunity to grab the Finn for a pro tour type of thing. I think if someone grabbed hold of the Finn and took that to the next level, I think
what the Star Class has done.
Yeah, exactly.
That what you're kind of.
Yeah, that's where I'm going. That's where I'm going. With the modern,
if that happens, it would be great. But yeah.
But for creating
the Barcarati Finn World Tour.
Yeah. But for
there'll be no prize money then.
For creating a brand,
they have to pay us.
Sailor, I mean, the Olympics are. If you want to create your brand as a young sailor, the Olympics are critical.
Yeah, that's true.
It's all that's what matters. And literally, as Anders just said, I'll paraphrase. Basically, you've got to be a midget to go to the Olympics these days. You know,
Well, you've in particular have been hot on that point.
Well,
I've never really been a big follower of the Olympics, full stop, because I've been offshore. But you brought that point up quite a lot in the last year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah,
so
the population's
I'm
growing.
hearing you, Jordan, in the sense that take the last Volvo race. Mm-hmm. It was always the story was how the Olympic sailors have transitioned into ocean racing.
Yeah,
that was always the story. So that ambition for a young sailor to get into the Olympics, that creates the storyline. But the fact a normal sized person can't get into the Olympics now, bloody hard.
It's not right. Like, so for you, Anders, I thought about it a lot today when I was just thinking about your career at the stage.
Take up skateboarding?
Yeah. No, at the stage you are in your career, you know, you're probably, with all the hard work you've got to do to learn and master the class, you're probably one more Olympiad before. I don't know how you're going to go in this Olympics, and I don't want to say you're not going to win it, but, you know, maybe the next Olympiad might be the one where you would win it, if you know what I mean, because you're on the progression that you're going through.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And that's all been
going
taken
into
on.
the right age and looking on statistics. The next squad is would have been my best one if you look on athlete statistics. So yeah, totally agree with you.
And the other thing, I guess, one of the reasons why the Finn class, there's so much discussion around this, is that it's been in the Olympics since 1952. Like, it is actually never been out of the Olympics since it was created. Yeah, so it was designed for the Olympics, and it's been in the Olympics since then. So that's quite the run. And if they came up with something that was an alternate, that was, you know, for a reason it was more modern, but it still catered. Sailing, despite what anyone thinks, is about your weight and size. And there should be classes. They should just design the classes so there's representation on size. Across the board. That's it. And, you know, I thought we were going to be okay with the double-handed offshore. You know, that at least allowed heavier sailors a chance at the Olympics. Not a specialty for heavier sailors, but, you know, a chance. But
and people like Barney Walker.
Yeah, and older blokes. Yeah.
Older cigarettes.
Yeah, but also the Finn kind of boat made it possible to do an Olympic campaign if you're not from a really big country and
that's a good
rich
point.
and strong federation. Yep. I mean, if the offshore boat came in now, for me it would have been, I would never have the chance to race it. It would be just too expensive.
Yep. Yeah, no, that's true.
And with the Finn, you can travel quite cheap. If you were a young guy coming into the Finn, you could survive with one boat and go around and do the circuit in Europe and travel out of Europe every now and then. But with the keel boat, there's gonna be sails and boats and etc. It's gonna be really expensive. Yeah, so it's gonna be many countries, which I don't understand. Many other countries voted for this concept that it's gonna have no chance whatsoever to compete in it. So
Anders, with the, if we wanted to keep the Finn in, there's the obvious requirement of equal numbers of males and females, you know, which is fine. I think we all agree with that. Let's equal representation. So what would be a good solution? I don't want to get in trouble going with your Olympic team, so maybe I shouldn't ask that question. That could be a bit hard on you, but I mean,
no, I don't think. To be honest, I don't want to be too much of a politician, but I think the radio is a bit. It's a bit like the Finn. It's the heavyweight for the girls. It's many girls that is lighter that can't do a single hand event. So you could put in a dinghy for the lighter girls, for example.
I see.
Yeah. There's many things you could have done, but I'm not fully agree with what they're going down with now. That's not the best way to run sailing, I think.
So the lighter girls can, you know, they've got other pathways, so they can sail a 470, they can sail an FX, you know, so you can skipper a 470, and you can be small in an FX with a big crew sort of thing. So you can make it work. But with the Finn, the boys, those blokes, you blokes, have got nowhere else to go now. You're gone.
No, that's true. Yeah.
You're just gone. And, I mean, we had the FD, we had the Star, we had the Finn, and that was, the halcyon days when normal-sized people had their chance.
Yeah, it's going to be a sport for small men.
Yeah.
The whippets, the little men. What's that mean for you, Anders? I assume you haven't really thought too much about it because you've got a pretty big regatta coming up in a month's time. But
I haven't given it too much thoughts about the future. But right now, I guess my Olympic sailing career is over. That's it's not pretty much. It's not an option to be honest. Yeah. That if I was going to go to the laser, I would have to take a year to lose weight, and then I had to get into the laser. And so on. So that's and then we're already in Paris in 3 years' time. So it's that's not going to work very good for an Olympic sailing campaign. Yeah.
So I mean, what we're saying is that obviously I'm biased. So I accept I've got a bias that we want to see Olympic spots for bigger guys, but. What we're producing with the Finn is super fit, super strong blokes who are really technically strong, who then come out. And in all honesty, if you look at the Olympic classes, it's pretty much majority of the guys that get picked into the elite pro ranks are the Finn guys. Probably change a bit offshore with more IMOCA stuff and less room in the boats. They'll go to smaller people. And easier sail handling. But, yeah, the Finn guys. So when you come out, are you going to try and go pro and sail something? Is that what the plan is? Or are you going to do a real
If I get
job?
the opportunity, it's not so easy being a Norwegian because if I get a gold medal, I guess the roads are going to open a bit easier. But the pro sailing is it's pretty much a game of knowing the right people and getting involved with the right people. So I'm slightly from the wrong country for just to slide easy into that. But if the opportunity comes, I will grab it.
Just get on the top of the podium.
There you go.
That'll open some doors.
That's the easiest way.
But aspirations then and competition. How's the form looking? How are you feeling and how's everyone else looking?
The two last championships we had, the Europeans and the Worlds, has been pretty shit for me, to be honest. We tested some new gears and obviously found out some stuff that didn't work so well. Mm-hmm. But at least we have a good opinion on what the problem is, and we're working on that now every day until the games. So I'm quite confident I'm going to be a lot more competitive in the games than I've been in the World Championships and the European Championships.
Yeah, and who's what nations are looking strong at?
Kiwis, of course. When the world champion in the class is not even going to the Olympics, that's quite a shocker. And we have the Hungarian zombie, of course. We have this young Spanish guy who's been fast lately. You have in Britain with Scott, who's of course going to be up there when the start goes in Tokyo, and we got probably 15 guys who can all take a medal on a good day.
That's what I got out of it. That's what I got out of it.
Yeah,
I think that
it's going to be a tough, but that's the fun part of it. You're probably racing one of the strongest Finn Olympics ever, so that's great.
Good. And so the lead from here, when do you get to Tokyo or get to Enshima for that matter?
The whole team is going to fly the 12th of July, so we're going to be there quite early.
Yeah.
Do some quarantine stuff down there, I think, but move into sailing quite fast when we get down there and just get used to the heat and acclimatize.
Yeah. So your boat's on the way there when you arrive. Everything's there. And what's the protocols around COVID, the quarantining and COVID and distancing?
I don't really know everything yet. I know there's going to be some sort of quarantine, but we're going to do it in the athletes' hotel. which most of the sailors are going to stay, but we're still able to sail while we're in quarantine. So that's going to be good.
I was speaking to Will. It's kind of like a bit of a bubble, almost a bubble. So once you're in, you're in.
Yeah,
once you're in, you're
bubble.
in. Yeah, once you're in, you're in. And that's your little nucleus.
Could be anywhere.
And we're going to get the lovely PCR test, I think, every day. So that's going to be nice to get the...
And 14 condoms.
And 14 condoms, yeah.
So hang on a sec.
I never do anything without protection. Come on.
Yeah, cool. So what about at the Olympics? I got to say, in doing my research, I got to say, for the Finn class, surely the 1980 Olympics was the highlight for the Finn class when Esko Rekard from Finland, the Finn won the Finn at the Olympics. So I thought...
The Finn won the Finn.
The Finn won the Finn at the Finn Games.
It's got to be a dream come true for marketing for the Finn, doesn't it? One of the things that makes the Olympics really good for an athlete is the family being there and the partner being there and, being able to share it. But obviously that doesn't happen. Has that did family go to Rio with you, or is it just it's been too difficult for them?
No, actually, the family didn't go to Rio. They were supposed to, but it was a lot of stuff going on. So no, I was alone there. So it's going to be pretty much the same.
Yeah.
I guess that's all right. It's it can be too much, you make too much of the Olympics. It's when it all comes to all, it's just a normal race, and it's the same competitors and the same waters we normally race. So it's just about to make it, just make it as normal as possible and
just
go with the flow.
Race. It's just a yacht race.
Yeah, a yacht race with a lot of extra going in. It's all of a sudden it's media attention and people need you to go there and there, and so it's a bit of extra hassle. But in the end, normal yachting. Did
you get the gig as the flag bearer for Norway?
No, I did not. I'm not going to be close to that opening ceremony. That's going to be too hot and too close to the competition.
Yeah, fair enough.
Are they even having an opening ceremony?
I was going to say, are they having? I haven't heard. I
doubt it. Surely.
I guess there's some.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
What about when you actually go out on the water? Like they put all those cameras on the boat. Do you notice that? Like when you're sailing the boat, is all that gear that goes onto your boat? Because there must be batteries and cameras and stuff, so it must add a bit of weight. Is it noticeable or change the boat at all?
No, in Rio they had this nice things mounted on the back of our boats, and it's just behind the rudder really, so it didn't feel it much. No. Did
you put a little note on the deck? Don't pick your nose, just in case they're filming something like that.
No, my only worries is that I've heard that they're gonna record probably with sounds this time around, and that can be ugly.
Yeah. Well, what we would say then, provide as much banter to the to your opposition as possible. So
and send it in.
Basically, that's just 100% taking the piss. We've worded Jake up on it, so maybe you could join forces. He can give you a few little good Aussieisms to throw out there to try and get your opposition off guard a little bit.
Yeah. I tried to do it in Norwegian, so nobody knows what I'm saying.
Are you vocal on the course, or you just out there doing your job?
No, I can be a bit vocal, I guess, when things are a bit frustrating. And
give us your favorite. Give us your favorite line.
I have no idea. That's heat of the moment. I have no idea what I'm going to say. Yeah.
Right. Well,
maybe you should write a few down, mate. Going prepared, like a good athlete. Be prepared, just to psych outline.
I should few down on my deck. That's probably a wise thing. Yeah. Prevent from saying anything stupid, I guess.
But we've sort of said it a few times. But
hang on a sec. Sign on. No, that's not right to say.
We've said it a few times on our show, but we've got a good mate, and his classic was "One of us is going the wrong way" as you cross sterns or cross bows. So that's a good one to throw in there.
That's a good one. That's not so bad.
That's a good one. It's a good psych.
Use that one, and that'll make them think.
Yeah. I think we've cooked this little fish right to the death. Anything else we've got to ask that I haven't thought of, that we haven't thought of? When do you go? When do you actually fly in?
12th of July.
12th.
That's yeah. So we go quite early actually, but we didn't have a choice.
Are you staying in a hotel? Or you got? I know the Australian team's got a mix of hotels and like accommodation houses they're staying in. What are you guys doing?
Oh, we're staying at the sailing village, the athlete hotel. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool. And how's your Japanese?
It's very thin.
Very thin, very
Extremely thin. I can say thank you, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's good. Yeah. Cool.
The food. Do you like the food? Japanese food?
Yeah, I actually like the Norwegian sushi better than I did the Japanese. Yeah. I prefer the Norwegian fish, but the ramen and those kind of things is good. It's okay, but I have to admit that after being in Japan in 2019, we were there for 3 weeks, and then we was changing accommodation, and I stumbled upon a McDonald's, and that was probably the best meal I had down there. So that was pretty sweet.
I'm assuming that McDonald's is in the same area you've already researched. Or was that part of the recon? Was it or?
Oh yeah. It's very important to have the right location on the Macca's. Isn't that what you said?
So you're sorted. So you're sorted. Yeah, good on you.
Actually, when you're in Oz, did you get any local delicacies in Oz that sort of took your fancy when you're here in Australia?
I had only good food in Australia, but I can't have. I don't have a memory of one that was particularly much better than any other. No.
I'm just interested, like if Jake took you somewhere and gave you something special, like a sniddo.
But you have to remember, Jake is a vegan, so so I'm not so impressed with his cooking style. You know,
we didn't know that. Research, Ben. Jeez, imagine the piss we could have taken out of him then.
What's going on?
Vegan.
Why didn't you have that in the list? Why didn't you have that in the run sheet?
I don't know. Explains a lot though. I was going to say.
It explains a lot.
All righty.
Cool.
Good. Very cool.
Hey, Anders, mate, I hope it wasn't too boring for you, bud. I hope we distracted you at least for an hour. It was worth your time.
Yeah, thank you very much. It was a nice hour going by in the quarantine, so that was good.
Yeah, we wish you all the best at the Olympics, hey, mate. We're 100% here to cheer for you. So,
thanks, mate.
Absolutely.
Needed.
When you're on the top pedestal, just yell out, "Thanks, Barkarati."
Yeah.
For your support.
Oh yeah, I will.
For your ongoing support. I'm in the same boat. Have a good time and make sure you say hello to all the boys and girls over there and good luck. Yeah. Enjoy yourself. That's the key.
And not entirely sure exact pronunciation, but Gumbaru, Japanese for good luck. So get out there.
Thank you very much.
Cool.
Good on you, mate.
Thank you very much, boys.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Poor old Anders, eh? He's. I think I love the fact that Northern Europeans are just so talented in their ability to speak English. We've got no Norwegian, but
no Norwegian.
No Norwegian.
Very little Japanese.
Yeah. Hey, have you ever tried to understand Norwegian for starters?
Not really. I can't remember.
Very little Japanese. I must apologise.
Yes, I was just going to ask, Bossy. Was that genuine? What you told him?
Gumbaroo. No, I've
what did you say? What does it mean?
A few things up in my head.
Mean? Good luck.
It's got something to do with goats.
How many?
I should have said Gunbati Kundasai. Yeah.
You got that wrong, didn't you?
Yeah. So my mistake. So
how many goats has Anders been with?
Well, if he wins a goat, if he wins gold, he'll be getting a goat.
So not a gold Commodore.
no statesman, but a goat.
And anyway, as I said, best of luck to all the Norwegian sailors. We do know a few of you, the Norwegians. We've had a bit of interaction with and great people, so bumped into them around the traps. But we did want to reach out up into that area. It's because we genuinely, don't know how you guys sail up there when it's so freaking cold, but obviously it's nice there at the moment. So anyway, good work.
Yep.
Absolutely. Good luck to them all. Yep, no question.
So what do you recommend? Olympics going to happen or not?
Well, actually,
Of course it is.
As of today, I started thinking yes.
Yeah, I think it's going to go.
The first day I started thinking yes. It's so close now. They're not going to. You notice you're not hearing anything more about the Japanese not wanting to general public not wanting to.
Well, I think there's a bunch of media.
It's all changed.
It gets involved in that lot. So
Yeah.
So I think it's going ahead. And as I said, in the bubble, everyone will be in the bubble. So I'm pretty certain it's going to go ahead. It'll be an awkward game. So as you said, the opening ceremony.
It's like watching the footy without the crowd there and then put the fake noise in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't quite work, does it?
Nah.
Yeah. But hey, in the end, it's them on the water, and that's all they're focused on. And
and there's going to be medals given out.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to watching it.
And you're the still owner of a medal. There's no question there.
Looking forward to watching it.
Bloody oath.
Cool.
Yeah.
Best of luck, Anders. Of course, the other piece is that we finally seen the decision from the IOC this week, where they've said no to the double-handed offshore, and we're going with the kites. And Andrew Pinder from GAC Pinder put a post up on Facebook, and there was quite a significant reaction and lots of banter going on there. Did you catch that, BP?
I was amongst it.
Yeah, as you always are.
Why wouldn't I be amongst it? Controversy, BP, controversy. That's how I roll, right? No, listen, we all knew a decision was coming, and it was, let's say, hanging on to straws, if you like, for that event to stay in the Olympics. We knew that it was going to go, and what they've gone for seems to be going down the path of what the IOC is seeing the Olympics doing over the next X amount of years, and that is young sports, young visually appealing. There's a whole heap of things that come into this discussion, and that's what the Andrew Pinder discussion has brought up. Is that there's a lot of people saying that they love the idea of the offshore doubles, but they've also liked the idea of keeping the sailing side of things up to date with what's going on in the sailing world. But for me, my opinion.
Well, my opinion as well. I think the Olympics obviously is trying to compete with the X Games, but I'm not sure what's actually happened to the X Games. Haven't heard of them for years, so maybe they're not going down the right path. But you know what? We know, we've heard from each of us. We all know our opinions, but I think we should reach out to the listeners, and this is a call to the listeners. What do you think the Olympics should look like from a sailing perspective? So ignore everything we've said. You just come forward at cheers@barkarati.com. So cheers@barkarati.com and tell us what you think it should look like, and go crazy. Just, I believe that everyone should have a chance to go to the Olympics if you're a sailor. I'm focused on the size thing. Maybe the offshore thing, who knows? But basically, BP, I'm happy to. I just want to hear from the listeners, don't you?
Absolutely.
Cool. Let's hear from the listeners. Anyone got any Secret Pro news?
Yeah, I've got something.
Bossy's got some.
It's not Secret Pro because it is out there, but it has been alleged that Ernesto Bertarelli will be
father of Coolio.
No, that's Bertelli. This is Ernie. We'll call him Ernie. Putting together a challenge for the America's Cup. Rumour has it he's brought Prada.
Oh.
Second Prada boat, or the first one, whatever, to Sperry. He's mounting a challenge out of Australia. He's going to harness the great Australian foiling talent that is around, and he is going to challenge out of Australia.
What, the Wallara Sailing Club?
No, could be Royal Prince Alfred, could be, I don't know.
Very cool.
South Coast, the Barkarati Sailing Club, who knows?
Pro, Bicey.
Well, no, it's not, because it's out there. It's been, I'm not the first one to come up with this or see it or hear it. And then to chuck fuel on the fire, the current skipper, or who skippered the SailGP team, Team New Zealand.
Sophokas of us.
He's one of the Elingi sailors. There's a tight connection. There's a
I see where it's
connection
coming from.
there
Yeah.
with New Zealand and stuff. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Australia will be challenging the next Cup.
Oh, actually under an Australian flag. Beautiful.
Well, boxed kangaroo, apparently.
Bit of VB Express.
With a bit of cheese in his heads. Is that right? Swiss? Yeah. Swiss. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that's true. If it is true, Ern, stand by. We might send you a merchandise pack. with a bit of an Australian influence. Ernie?
All right, listener of the week?
Yes.
You haven't prepared, have you?
Prepared. I haven't.
I'll come back to it.
I've got one.
Okay.
My mate Mark Disney in the UK sent through a email and sent through some nicknames, and one of which has been extended throughout our friendship, which started many, many years ago in Valencia when he purchased a Mini from me. His mate Smashy, who I happened to meet quite a few times, and it's a beautiful nickname. Just Smashy, because he continually breaks himself. So they just call him Smashy.
Yeah. He's got a record of breaking himself. It's a formidable record.
So what happened? So the story is the record in his early 20s, he broke both legs, an arm, and a collarbone while skiing. Yeah. Airlifted off. His recent attempt to keep his name alive, if not himself, was 07 Fastnet when he launched himself across the boat and broke 2 ribs and punctured his lungs. In the meantime, he's had countless bike accidents, which are too routine to mention. So,
Mark Disney, listener of the week.
Okay.
Well done, mate. Okay. And hope to see you soon.
There may or may not be a merchandise pack on your way.
And a stubby cooler.
Beauty. Surely that just automatically in the merchandise pack, BP, that extra thing you throw
No, it arrives separate. It's just a little packet that arrives separate.
All right. Boys, so it's early in the week, so there's a lot of sailing going on that'll be going on next weekend or the weekend when we publish. And but the good thing is we're just straight after SailGP.
Here we are.
What do we think? Was it good? Was it bad?
I think there's a lot of shit floating in the water down there.
Right, let's get to that. So the final race, the last 3 boats left in it, the US team led by a Ginger, Spithill.
Our Ginger.
Yeah. Clearly.
Australia Team C.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, actually, he's the sewer rat in our
in the Ginger.
Team Ginger Challenge. Yeah.
Anyway,
leading fleet,
dominating the fleet. Looking, I mean, I've got to say they sailed brilliantly. Like
they did.
The US team and the Japanese team were clearly sailing brilliantly all weekend, but it was all sewed up. They were pretty comfortably, like you could see they were sailing conservatively and smart, and then just I don't know what they hit. Do you guys hear anything?
No, there's been no confirmation, but the video is pretty brutal. When you see the video, they pretty well stopped. So
yeah, so
and then Nath Australia B came through with the win to take the regatta out.
Yeah. So and congratulations. What do we think about the 3-up thing?
Don't know.
No, I think episode 7, when we originally spoke with Alistair Murray, the future of this sport is these boats are just going to have one person sailing them at one point in time.
Yeah,
and smoking around a racetrack, and this is one step towards it. Russell,
just like Formula 1,
has been listening up, and this was his opportunity to do it.
He's our influence again. Our bloody.
So, what do I think of it? Bullshit.
Yeah.
For starters, is it the future? Yeah, probably.
But the boat needs to be designed for it. Like I'd have much rather
going to lose interest. Come on, give our Nina a chance.
Oh, they should have swapped the women in. That's what you're thinking. Yeah, that's interesting. I like it. But yeah, no, it just looked awkward, I think. Like, I just want to say that it looked a bit awkward, like the boats are designed for 5. I guess they were trying to give them more chance to get up on the foils early. But I don't know.
So what they're saying with that comment then is that 140, 160 kilos is going to make that difference. Is that what they're saying?
I don't know. I guess.
No, I'm just interested because.
Well, that was the excuse for the 3, right?
Yeah.
because it was light airs.
There's been other things thrown around.
Fuck, there's a whole lot more power driving those boats than bloody the weight of 3 people.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And plus, it's not about the speed. Like, I think one of the things that SailGP are getting wrong is they're fixating on speed. And
the kilometres an hour?
Oh, yeah, we're going to come to that. They're fixating on speed. It's not about the speed. Sailing is never about speed. If we want to see, if it was always about speed, just go and watch some speed runs in the ditch or whatever they call it.
North Africa,
yeah. It's not about speed. It's about the tension because of our tactics, because of things changing. And so that focus, I think, is wrong. They need to understand that, like, the boats coming off the foils is still racing, and we're still interested. They don't have to be on the foils, because then the tension comes from them getting up on the foil. Who's going to sail the boat?
I agree that whole bit about who's getting up, who's getting down, but actually to see you're either on the foils or not on the foils, that real tricky bit is a little bit brings a bit of the fluke into
There's still
it.
Tactical. You've got to place your boat. I guess it's hard in such a short, tiny course and tight course, but I think if I was advising SailGP, I'd just leave normal crew on the boat.
But isn't it? I mean, you touched on it a second ago. Isn't it our sport? I mean, look at the finish the other day to the ocean race or the Round Europe race. Nabel and the guys out in front, the whole way, seemingly on their way to a victory without any pressure. Get 3, 5, 10, 15 miles from the finish, and it's a rubber band.
Yeah, amazing. Still,
and it ends up to be 100 metres between first and whatever, right? Yeah. It's our sport. So you're out there on a SailGP boat and you're getting rid of weight for the sake of trying to keep them on the foils. It's our sport that if you unfortunately get caught in no wind, but if they're out there sailing in 7 knots of wind around a race course, it's inevitably going to happen to someone that they're going to fall off the foils.
Yeah,
it happened
I think
America's Cup, but
like if I watch, I think you just got to. You're kind of getting to.
Was it their choice? Could they choose not to take people? Russell raised the what is it? The Amendment 3 flag, which meant 3 crew.
Yeah, maybe.
What do you call it?
Yeah. Well, the other one,
third substitution.
We'll do a praise burger here, so we'll do positive and negative, and bury the negatives in the middle. So let's put the other negative up: kilometres an hour.
It doesn't matter. To tell you the honest truth.
Yeah,
to me,
does my head.
I see all the comments and knots. Yeah, I like knots, but probably 80% of my mates would have no idea what knots are anyway.
Yeah, that's irrelevant.
But you don't want to. I believe in you don't want to be dumbing stuff down for the non-follower.
That's right.
You want to bring the non-follower in, not
40 knots or 80 Ks. Does it even matter?
Well, there's a reason why we say knots, like that, because
Why's that?
Because it's a navigation thing. Like a nautical mile is one minute of latitude, isn't it? Is it latitude or longitude? I've forgotten off the top of my head, but it's 1 minute.
No, I agree with all of that, but it's the only
but it goes to the core of our sport
area of and we do wind in it and all that sort of stuff, but it's the only sport or anything that uses that unit of measurement.
Yeah, but any other sport. So, like, if I was watching football or American football or whatever sport, you pick the sport, they don't change.
It's running at 14 knots.
Yeah, they don't change it like.
Yeah, I'm hearing
in tennis.
No. Yeah, you don't dumb it down for the non-follower.
You wait. Yeah. You bring people up. You don't change.
Well,
your
that's
sport.
what I just said. That's what I just said.
I know. I was just trying to get back and reinforce that statement. So what's 40 love mean in tennis? Like we've just grown up and got used to it. Whatever.
You don't hear 40-0, do you?
No, that's right. So
that's smashing.
Yeah. So just have some pride in the sport, I guess, is what I'm arguing.
Yeah. Well, going back to your original point, though, speed doesn't matter. So who gives a shit?
Still. That being said, it's still a fantastic event and huge fans of the event. Here's the praise burger part where we finish on a positive. Team New Zealand, they got rid of a couple of nupties off that boat.
Just dragging them around the track, weren't they?
And they just brought the standard up significantly. It's It's a fantastic performance for the guys that stepped into Team New Zealand. Great job. Great job.
Yep. Yeah. I'll concur.
Yeah. So
I must admit, guys, I was actually sort of out sailing for the weekend, and can you give me a bit of a rundown on the Aussies?
Yeah, wow. Probably not their best.
So there's this guy, Cole Langford. They took off all those other hot shots, and he was kind of left on board. So he made up 33%.
I think
the performance.
So they had all this. It was stated. We haven't rung them or anything. The hydraulic. They had a hydraulic problem.
I heard. Yeah, I heard there was an issue with something
on the Saturday, and then so they got that fixed, but it didn't look like things were sorted on the Saturday, and then on the Sunday they looked like they were coming back to form, and then it was just too late, too little, too late. So they dipped out, but you know. It can happen. I think, remember, one of the things important to understand that SailGP is doing really well is they make them share all their data. So it's easy they're trying to keep the fleet equal and not have domination. So that has to be expected, which is cool. It's kind of happens in a lot of sports with the draft, you know, the worst team gets the next best players and they try and create that sort of scenario. So, yeah, I guess trying to keep the tension.
That'd be great to introduce. Hey, Russ, get on that, mate.
Yeah, draft.
Introduce a draft system.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, very cool.
Mid-year draft and end-of-year draft.
But that being said, we love the event. Big fans of the event.
Could we come in as mature age rookies?
No, I don't think they're going to take us.
No, you can't change sides, though.
All right, okay.
Oh, there goes the hip.
Oh, my knee's gone. It's just related to my neck. It's all right.
Second leg of the ocean race started as well.
Yes, it did. We touched on this earlier, didn't we?
Yeah, fantastic. They're off and away. Anything of note that we want to talk about from that leg start?
Oh, nothing major. Anyone got fishing boats? Foils?
Yeah, those guys.
But obviously, what we alluded to at the start of the show was, poor little old mate, Pedro and Andreas, I think they were. They were out there just doing a bit of fishing, trying to catch a few Portuguese snapper. And next thing you know, Wooshka, brand new foil. Still had the Persco sticker on it.
Oh, no.
Spun around, didn't it?
I know.
Hello, fishermen's. Oh. Yeah.
Fishos.
Oh.
Yeah, jeez. It's not good for it, I tell you.
Oh, you know, I hate to say it, because we're good friends with Mark and Charlie, and we like all the blokes on that, all the people on that boat. We're very close to a lot of people on that boat. For the regular listeners of the show would know that, but I just can't help but imagine that when that boat is tied up at dock in Alicante, some mongrel's going to sneak down there and put some big foam padding on the foils at night, and they'll just come down.
A couple of tires.
I think, does it open up another discussion point?
Okay.
And kind of being in touch with some of the Omoka guys during that whole Super 60 project, it is known that the vision, like the vision straight ahead and 60 degrees forward, is non-existent.
Non-existent, yeah.
On a good day,
Yep.
not to mention on an Omoka that has this coach roof.
Yep.
That is basically you can hardly see anyway.
Yep.
So is that the question? Let's put 11th hour to the side for a second.
That's fair.
Is there mandatory cameras and things and alert systems that need to be installed on these boats, or has it gone too far?
Ooh, the big one.
Maybe there's, I don't know. Like,
I think it's how do you say it? How do you pull back, right? For a start, I mean, this is a genre of boat that's being born. It's now at a point where it's pretty serious, and there's a lot of people getting involved because of various reasons. You love the boats, you know that. I love the boats. I think cameras have to the technology of cameras have to come into play. We can't have boats smashing into fishing boats and smashing into. I mean, it happened in the Volvos. We know that. I guess, yeah. I don't know. The answer's pretty. We're seeing it in the middle of the day. I mean, it could get a whole heap worse.
Let's go another step. Is there a technology that's not being used that should be used, or does the technology just not exist? Just doesn't exist, and why not take the opportunity to take, let's call it a negative, turn it into a positive. Let's call it the burger. What was it, Jordan? The
positive burger.
Positive. The burger.
Praise burger. The praise burger.
The praise burger.
Praise burger.
And say, all right, industry, design this monitoring camera system that is going to read through the sails, whether it's scanning infrared, I don't know, radar, I don't know, but at least something.
I guess the point you're trying to make in a roundabout way is we've got to do something because it's almost impossible to see off those boats. It could have happened to anyone.
Yes,
Yep.
that's what I'm saying.
Yep.
That's what we're saying.
Yeah. Now, of course, with the magic of our technology, BP, whilst we recorded early in the week, somehow we know the results at the end of the week, on the weekend that's just been gone.
I knew it was going to happen. Hey, I'm going to apologise to you and to the world.
What for now?
Well, you got to understand one thing, and this is to the listeners out there. I want to be sailing. And that's all I'm saying. Okay. I want to be sailing. So the fleet that's up there, I hope that they all had a wonderful time, and I totally get it, and I'm so excited for the results, and to everyone who competed in the event, congratulations. But I wanted to be there.
All right, so clearly BP's talking about the Australian, the Etchell Australian Champs, which have just finished in Mooloolaba. Very light winds, very, very light winds. Sailed just off the water of Mooloolaba. Very shifty, tough conditions.
We would have won. Willie Mack is a legend in shifty conditions, I can tell you. No. You know, I'm only joking. I've got to say that it was an enthralling event to watch, but it hurts to watch.
Okay. Well, there was some great fun. I will tell you, bud, Barkarati Sailors Lager was just going off. Thank you so much to all the Etchell team, people who supported us. I cannot tell you how grateful we are to what a great fleet, what a good bunch of people. And everything we say about Etchells is designed to do what's best for the Etchells. So I can't tell you how many, we get so many emails on stuff. We know so much stuff we don't talk about. There's stuff, BP's sitting on something, I'm sitting on something, and we're just not talking about it because we don't want to do damage. We want to encourage a solution. But more important,
I guess just before you go on, I guess I saw some photos of all the boys up there having a beer and the girls having a beer.
Yeah.
And they were saluting Barkarati.
Yeah.
Now, if I wasn't there at the regatta, you were there obviously because you're in Mooloolaba.
Yep.
Boise wasn't there, but we were there.
It was fantastic, really fantastic, and congratulations to the organisers, Trevor Martin particularly, and the Mooloolaba Yacht Club, doing a fantastic job, and they made a really good. They created this room. They went to great bunch of little volunteers in a tiny little club doing an amazing job. But more importantly,
tough conditions.
Fantastic, and everyone that volunteered. Congratulations, of course, to Pete Merrington and his team on First Tracks, who had the win. So Pete Merrington, Ian McKillop and Steve Jarvin having the win. And then Martin Hill. He's sailing with a couple of kooks, Martin Hill.
What's their names again? Matt Ryan and Will Belcher, or?
Yeah. I think Matty Ryan, Will Belcher.
And Robert Plant or something?
Yeah,
Robert Plant. Is that Robert Plant from Led Zeppelin, lead singer of Led Zeppelin?
Yeah, absolutely. And then, of course, Squark. Squark, he was also...
Squarky, in for third, yeah.
In for third. BP, I don't know how much you've been paying attention, obviously, but I think you'd be pretty chuffed. Our mate Fritz and Snodey and Big Sam.
Very good result for them too. But let's just rewind, if you don't mind. I had a chat to Billy. We call Peter Merrington Billy.
Formidable sailor.
Mothy and obviously Steve Jarvin is Mothy and Ian McKillop. I rang Billy about an hour and a half ago. So stoked. I remember speaking to him at the state titles. Coming into the last day, they were leading in New South Wales. Obviously, the M11s were still sailing then, but it was, tight at the top. And he said, I just can never win a regatta. He said, I just can never win a regatta. Well, this is it. He's done it. And we're proud of you, and well done to you guys. And it was a really solid effort too. Every one of the top teams had some big numbers in their first few days, but they just got better and better.
Yeah, these guys had a phenomenal scorecard from day 2. They had a 15th race 1, and then a 10th race 2, and then an 8th, and then it went just bang, bang, bang. They were super. The last day, they were just, the last 3 races, they were phenomenal in probably the hardest conditions.
Yeah, and I can say that for Billy Merrington, Steve Mothi-Jarvin, and Ian McKillop, well done. There you go.
Absolutely. The other event that was on at the same time and was doing their Facebook Live streams was the VX1 Midwinters, and we were also part of that. We provided a few bevies for the boys and the ladies, and a magnificent event there. Some serious talent in the VX1 fleet these days. There's world champions deep in this fleet, and so a fantastic outcome. I've got to say, big congratulations to the Mach 1 boys. They held out over McGee property and then double black. So Benny and Josh Franklin and Alan Moffat on Mach 1. They've won the last few nationals, and then they won this midwinter nationals. Last year, they were second to the McGee property guys. So that's William Vorman's team. And then the double black guys is John Somerville's team. So really, really tight racing. And the boys there, so Mike James and Brett Whitbread are the guys that they're the importers of the VXs into Australia. And they're cheapest VXs you can buy in the world here, because they don't make any money on it. They literally do it and they don't make money.
They got our mentality.
Yeah.
Is that why they follow us?
They're just good guys.
They've got our business model or something. Or
I must admit, I probably spend a good few hours chatting to those boys. They're a lot of weeks I'm chatting to them. They're great guys, and they put a lot of effort and time into it. So we're more than happy to slot some grog down to those guys.
How did we go? You and I and Bicey, were we there or not?
No, we missed out. We missed out. The boat hasn't come yet. And poor old Brett Whitbread, he's so dedicated to the class. He sold his boat before he's got his new boat. So to keep Clarkson over, but his mast hasn't turned up yet because they've got a new mast manufacturer. So he had to do the commentary. But they did this one-lapper thing and just did lots and lots of races. They got 11 races out of a 12-card program in really, really light winds. And the Mach 1 boys were just phenomenal day 2. They were a bit deep day 1. Day 2, it was like 1, 1, 1, 4, 1. So pretty phenomenal performance. I will say you were chuffed. I was chuffed for the Etchells, but a big congratulations in 4th place, right? One of my young proteges, young Sarah Johnson, on the Beast. On the Beast. My mate Mick James stepped off, and young Sarah, who I've been working with probably for about 6 years, she came up to 4th, knocking out Jason Muir, Etchell world champion, into 5th.
Oh, there you go.
Maddie Chew behind her, Peter Condy behind her, Rob Douglas, Taser world champion, multiple Taser world champion, and it goes on.
She's done okay. Did she thank you? Did she ring you up?
No, she did it all herself, mate. Not me. Nothing to do with me. She don't need to ring me. I ring her.
She didn't.
Yeah, but
did she use any of your?
Of course, but
techniques.
But I just want to say, like the VX fleet's going gangbusters, and it looked really cool, even in light winds. So that was good. That was really good.
Right.
Yeah. So I think we're all good.
Well, nailed it.
Yeah. We're recording this, obviously, just as the fleet's about to start. Well, I'm about to publish this just as the third leg of the Ocean Race Europe starts. It should, as I publish this, it should be starting right away. So Sunday night, our time, the Ocean Race is due to start in probably 10 or 15 minutes. So I better get off and publish so I can watch.
Yeah, well, you better. But I've got to say that there's some pretty excited people from last week, obviously, or the week ago. We had Rosalind Kuiper on board, and she's just stoked. She's having a ball. There's a bunch of people. Obviously, Lucy Chapman.
Yep.
She's looking good.
Lucy being Lucas Chapman.
Yes, no, we're only joking. Lucas Chapman. Hey, yes, they had a good second leg, and they're now equal first. So we'll see what happens.
Tight on the leaderboard, both fleets. It should be a great leg.
But isn't that Volvo 65s? Isn't that how it rolls?
Yeah, always with the 65s, but it's the same with the Omokas as well. Great comeback from 11th hour after all their
on the test rig.
All their test rig action. Anyway, so they're all tied up. So they go into Genoa in Italy.
Yes.
Yes. And then they have a little race on there. Happy days.
It is. Very good.
Last thing I just want to let people know, Mooloolaba Women's Keelboat Regatta is coming up in end of July, start of August, so July 30 to August 1st. All women crews from around Australia are invited to participate. You can have 3 or 4 crew members on it. The reason I bring it up now is they're about to, if you just go to the Mooloolaba Yacht Club webpage, you can register your interest, because last year it sold out, and it sold out within a couple of hours. So it's actually quite a popular little event, because in very limited space, so they can't actually allow too many competitors and so forth. So if you're interested, get your team together and jump onto that and go sailing. Good times.
Good.
Cool.
I like it.
All right.
Well done.
All right.
Good on you,
well
lads.
done to the guys that took out the Etchells. Awesome.
Yeah. Great week of sailing.
And thanks for drinking all that Sailor's Lager. All right. See you, lads.
See ya.
Go, BP.
Sorry, get my guitar.